This technique on plaid making uses a new stencil. I call it the Plaid Maker. We'll be using the memory mists for one of the cards that we'll be doing. Then for the other card, we'll be using the new spreader, a variety of embossing pastes, including the black with the thank you on acetate. Also, we'll end up using a little bit of the pigment ink with the finger dauber. So let's get started. I have a black cardstock that I'm placing in the center of my spray booth. And when you're doing the plaid making, you want to do the striped pattern one way and then the other. And I've cut my paper 6 inches square, and the stencil is 5 7/8, so you can see the edge. It makes it a little easier when you're aligning it. You're going to be turning. Just testing my gold spray. And then I hold it about 12 to 18 inches high and just spray lightly. It absorbs onto that cardstock fairly quickly. I'm just going to turn it 90 degrees. I'm just seeing if I am in alignment. So there we go. And now I'm spraying in the other direction. So now I can lift that off of there. And you have a beautiful plaid design. What I'm going to do first in the process of this card is actually what goes on last, is the thank you with the matte black. And the reason that I am pasting it on acetate is so you can still see the design, but you can get the sentiment on the card. Otherwise, I don't think that I could paste or stamp. It's just mounted with a little piece of double-sided tape on there, and you can see here what I have. So I'm going to paste on acetate first, and then I'll set this aside. If I were to tape directly onto the acetate, the residue from the tape would stick on there, and it's almost impossible to get that stickiness from the tape off. So I am mostly putting the tape on that edge to protect the acetate from the paste, and then I will adhere the tape down here to position it, and just a little bit of it hold the acetate in place. That way. Now this one I'm going to cut out, so it won't matter, but it's just one of those FYI type of things, just so you'll know for the future if you want to do that. That's a technique you can use. And I sweep up. I was pushing it down because for some reason, and there's just a little hole there that I missed. If you miss a little spot, just don't dab it and don't stroke it. Just very gently fill it in, and then at a 90-degree angle, go back across and take off the excess paste, and it'll fill in for you. The more you sweep on it, the more you fuss with it, the more likely it is for the paste to seep underneath the stencil. I'm going to grab that off of there. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. A friend of mine and I had a big discussion about how to make a plaid out of the new Plaid Maker that is with embossing paste. And I discovered that if you start with one of the glossy ones first and then put one of the matte pastes on top of the glossy, it works pretty well. But if you do it the reverse, where the first color is matte and the second color is glossy, the distance that you have where the stencil is lifted up causes it so that the paste, the glossy paste, which is quite loose, will run underneath. So do your glossy, if you're going to use both glossy and matte, do your glossy first, but always your second layer should be of the matte paste. So you can use matte and matte, but not matte and glossy. The platform pasting technique. So I am using big long pieces of tape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my matte yellow paste. I have a brand new jar of paste here. And I'm going to place it on this section that I've made that I call my platform. It's just a little place for the paste to rest. And I know it looks like a lot, but all of this paste is going to go back in the jar. And this new spreader is really nice. I'm going to just hold it at about a 30-degree angle here as I go across. And it's just going to fill in all those holes. I'm just flattening as I go, and then as I come down to the end, I'm lifting up, and it looks like I missed just a tiny area. So I'm just going to gently fill that in. And I'm going to give it another swipe. This time I'm going to do it a little bit more at an angle, a higher angle. So not quite 90 degrees, but... So I had a little bit of a bleed under this, so I just took a stylus and cleaned out just a little bit. Although I may end up using only a certain portion of the card, but that's pretty good, not bad. So I'm going to set that aside. I thought it might be kind of fun to do a similar one with this one. I'm going to take the orange and just slide it down.